Hello, today is Monday, March 10th, 2025. It is currently 10:27 a.m. Once again, I have to report Tori Wilder. And Tori Wilder believes that by using German Nazis and German soldiers and other individuals in her mother's family whom of are of German descent or of white German descent. For some reason, Tori Wilder thinks that she can challenge me physically by murdering me. Okay, now, I just want to mention to you, as a first naval brigadier officer, and as a former benefactor of the Nazi Party, and as my being born as the Princess of Iran since 1981, where I have been convinced to be a benefactor of this country as a quadrillionaire certified princess. And in any case, I would like to address how Tori Wilder is a drug addict that follows my breeding for at least 16 years and mates any man that I mate. Now, I don't really complain about it. I just move on to another man. And then I notice that Tori Wilder tries to move on as well. More recently, Tori Wilder married Salman Khan. And as you know, there are more than 12 men with the name Salman Khan that are in a direct family line. I not ever once challenged their marriage, but I see that Tori genocided my children and my infants. And she also invaded my AI implant and has since fed AIDS and feces to my infants and toddlers that were inside of my AI implant. And my AI implant is actually royal property. It's not gubernatorial property, and it's new. And furthermore, I'm being heckled by a white male that's in her family that thinks something very low-based about me, where he believes that he can genocide my infants and my children for some odd reason, and says that I don't own, really, he's saying I don't own anything, that I never have, and that I'm a bum and all of these things. And really, that's low-based, and I have since identified him genetically. He is Tori Wilder's grandfather. Is that her grandfather or her uncle? It's her uncle. Okay, so now that he's been identified, please handcuff him immediately. Because Tori Wilder believes that she should genocide my family to own real estate properties that are in my name. First of all, I'm not a fiendish woman like Tori Wilder is, because I own my own real estate properties with my own money. I have my own real estate equity with my own money, and I have my own net worth. And, you know, for the past several years, I've noticed that all kinds of women have decided that they should, in their own minds, pursue men that were once interested in me. Now, I have my own net worth. I had my own net worth when I was born as the Princess of Iran. And of course, there are federal documents to prove that I was born the Princess of Iran, and that I was born the Queen of Egypt, the Princess of Ireland, the Princess of Japan, and the Princess of China. There are all certificates and federal records available. If you are in disbelief, I invite you to subpoena the Fairfax County Courthouse online, and you can, a subpoena will contact you. If you want to see something readily, you can look at my Facebook, and you can see some of my royal documents there. Not all of them are Buckingham Palace originated, but there are other documents as well which confirm me as a royal from birth. And I have always had my own money. I became royal abdicate on my own, and I'm no longer abdicate in Iran, but I did choose to be as a child because I wanted to pursue something. And I just believe that this is unfair, that Tori Wilder's family feels like that by feeding my children feces and by genociding them and by murdering us, that they'll achieve my net worth and my real estate equity and my business equity. I've always been a business investor, even as a child, and I've always been involved in international affairs and world rulership, even as a child. And I took my own path. It's unfortunate that women, don't have their own money, and they don't have their own lineage either, unfortunately. And the lineage they do have obviously isn't enough to them, but they didn't put in their time and breed their own children. Instead, they think they'll kill mine or take over mine. But, just to have a more targeted focal point on this discussion is that, I own my own real estate properties, and Tori Wilder was pursuing 67 Beverly Park Court, Beverly Hills, California. I owned that property long before Salman Khan decided to, long before Salman Khan the 12th decided to, work with me involving the legal affairs that I had and legal assistance, all of which were he was paid. And he was paid for it. I paid, with my own money. And, I thought that everything was fine. But apparently, he has a genocidal idea and a murder ploy against me. He wants to murder me for some reason. And Tori Wilder's family is in on it. Once again, I have my own net worth. I had my own net worth when I was born. And it's so unfortunate that Tori Wilder's German white family in this country, in the United States and in Germany, believe that they need to subjugate me with genocide and with mass murder and with AIDS feedings and kidnappings and fecal feedings and brutalization of which I don't deserve. I'm a citizen of the United States. I have my own business equity and my own real estate equity, and I can prove it. I have not at one point ever used Salman Khan's money or any man's money to buy a home that I wanted. I always had my own money. I always did. As far as the royal continuity is concerned, since Tori Wilder's people think that that's a defense, that is so sacrilege. There are royal con white men that killed themselves. They committed suicide because they feel like, it's a disgrace to have so many people claim to own an annuity that you gave to your child. And I am one of the royal con descendants. And I've owned the royal con annuity since I was little. And I just feel like that's unfortunate. In any case, I just want to make sure that this is handled immediately, since, I was not only a benefactor of the country of Germany, I'm also descending from Germany. And I have more, there's more about me that's like a German white female, genetically and naturally, as opposed to Tori. And, I just thought that should be mentioned, since race seems to be a supposed qualifier for genocide. And, moving forward, I was also accused of lying about owning real estate properties like Glendale Ranch, and which is in Napa County, Glendale Ranch and Vineyard. And I was involved in Glendale Ranch in childhood. And later on, Glendale Ranch sold to Christie's International. I was on the deed, but I didn't keep up with the property. That was on purpose. That was my decision. And in the interim, I purchased the property from Christie's International. And after I purchased it, I made it my own for the most part. I have the documents on YouTube. However, if you are in disbelief that I own Glendale Ranch and Vineyard in Napa County, California, you can do a subpoena. I invite you to subpoena. If in doubt, subpoena. Okay? And you can see all the necessary documentation. I was also accused by Tori Wilder, who is still currently genociding my children and infants and kidnapping them and murdering them and brutalizing them and feeding them AIDS and feces, with the support of her white German family in the United States of America and in Germany, that wanted to question me and kill me and call me a liar and say that 329 Albion Avenue, Woodside, California doesn't belong to me, and that I'm lying, is what I was told. First of all, it just hurts me with an eternal regret that I'm involved with 329 Albion Avenue in childhood, and that I choose to give it to a family member that I held dear in my heart, and I left it to him, and I moved on to what I figured would be, just having a daily life in society. And, I'm involved with 329 Albion Avenue, Woodside, California, early on in childhood. However, once again, in the interim, I purchased above the deed where I was involved in childhood, and I purchased again 2 years ago, and I've owned it ever since. As an owner and not as someone that just owns a deed. And so those records and documents are available. If in doubt, subpoena. Those documents are available. I shouldn't have to supply you with fees for documentation with the royal continuity, since you're genociding me, and since you say you have a genuine interest in my real estate properties, where you think that you can scrutinize me. Well, then you should have your own money for the documentation, shouldn't you? In any case, this is the end of this video. I just wanted to briefly show you that I am reporting Tori to the FBI.